Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profit. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women and men around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients, because many can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You'll learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales, and unleash lasting profits. You will also have the opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. Now, last week I shared how to bring tools and tech together in strong client relationships with RJ Redden. But today I have another amazing guest who I've come to know and love, Uwe Dockhorn. And Uwe, welcome to the show.
Well, it's a pleasure being here today with you, Lynn. It's amazing. Thank you for inviting me.
I am really excited about our conversation. We're going to have 2 episodes together, but today you and I are going to show you why your relationship foundations are crucial to your sales and business success. I want to tell you that Uwe is a lifestyle liberator for high achievers and their families. He believes in freedom and inner certainty that shows up in your business financially and emotionally in your relationships. Now, I am super excited. Today, this is what we're going to dive into. So I want to ask everyone a question. Have you ever tried solving a puzzle without all the pieces? It's really frustrating. That happens to us all the time on the ferries, and there's no puzzle. It's missing the pieces. It's like trying to find satisfaction in your business without fulfilling personal relationships. You need to collect all your pieces and watch the whole picture come to life. So this is what you and I are going to be talking about. By the end of today's show, you're going to know what typical relationship foundation situations are sabotaging your sales and business success, what those are, why you need to understand what's missing in your relationship foundations, the connection and correlation of relationship foundations, how they interconnect for sales and business success. Running a business but neglecting your personal relationships is like a superhero who only uses half of their powers. It's time to power up fully in your relationships and watch your businesses thrive. So, Uwe, let's get into this because you are the expert. This is your field of absolute brilliance. So can you just tell us and share what is a typical situation where your relationship foundations are sabotaging your sales and business success?
Well, certainly, Lynn. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And, a common scenario is when, you have this sales professional and is focusing solely on transactional interactions with his clients. And so this approach often neglects the building of trust and understanding, which are key components of a strong relationship foundation. So without these, clients may feel undervalued and disconnected, leading to lower client retention even, and ultimately impacting sales success. Just imagine, just to highlight this a little bit more, you're at a coffee shop and you go there every day, but the barista never remembers your name or your usual order. So it feels impersonal, right? So similarly in sales, if you treat clients just as transactions and don't remember their preferences or past conversations, they feel undervalued. And so this lack of personal connection can lead clients to take their business elsewhere. And that's not what we want, right?
Yeah, no, never.
Exactly.
Well, that's actually really good. I love the story and the analogy there because it's one of the funny things. I go to the same coffee shop on Lopez Island all the time, and they will remember that I need to put my stevia in my coffee cup before they make my cappuccino. And they'll like, hey, let stevia, because they have it out on the counter, but I put it in first so that it's all mixed in with the coffee, right? So it's all perfect. Anyway, it's just that little thing. They remember that. if I'm sort of distracted or whatever. So, so this is a really good example of why this is so important, that you're making those connections. And so I want to sort of take a little bit deeper dive into how this directly relates when you have that disconnect in your personal relationships and in that your whole life view, how that's relating and showing up in your sales and business success.
So when we dive deeper, we always have a look as coaches, kind of like, so what is missing in the equation here? And so what's often missing is the emotional intelligence and empathy. So without that, you wouldn't have your barista made you your coffee as you wanted, right? And as you wish it. So in this case, sales professionals need to genuinely understand and address their clients' needs and concerns. So this involves active listening, of course, showing genuine interest and creating a connection again. It's all about connections beyond just the business transaction. So we always prefer connection over transaction here. So, and think of it like, to use another analogy of, think of it like gardening. So just as plants need water and sunlight to grow, relationships need empathy and understanding. Relationships need empathy and understanding. And in sales, this means actively listening to your clients, understanding their needs and responding in a way that shows you genuinely care. So, because if you don't see that, who cares, right? At the end of the day. So it's really about nurturing the relationship, not just making a sale.
Right. And that's absolutely true. But if we take that step back, what I'd really like to have you share is that interconnection between your personal life and how the relationships with your families, your partner, your children, it could also be really close friends. It could be your business partner, how those relationships are really the foundations that you use to then sort of, I don't know, play it forward into the other relationships with your business, with your team members, with, your peers, with your clients. But what's that relationship foundation for your personal life need to look like? What's typically missing? And let's sort of dive into that.
Absolutely. So I strongly believe to become a great leader, or in this case, you're also a leader if you're a sales representative, and you first must become a better partner at home. So when I work in organizations, and a couple of years ago, or probably more than 5 to 10 years ago, there was always the saying about like, okay, so we just separate work from personal life. So it's separated. So, and I always said fair enough. So let's have this example for a moment. Just, there's your colleague is kind of like, you realize, under the weather for a couple of weeks now. So what is the first question that comes up to mind? Well, is everything okay at home? Well, and there's the connection. It's always interconnected. We can separate that. And so from my background with my work for over 17,000 sessions, I realized that in these high-achieving families, there's this, dynamic and this imbalance in the relationship first that has impact also on the professional side of things. So everything is interconnected here. So you can't separate the two things, and that's why, we call this to create, instead of a work-life balance, which was a term that was used many, many years, but it's dead. It's just too unstable. It's just describing a status quo, an ideal of a status quo that you can never achieve fully, that it's in balance. So it's very unstable. So instead, what we want to advance here is work-life harmony. Because when you can work and integrate all these facets of your personal life with your work life, and everything becomes kind of like a symphony. So you're tuning the values on the family side, and that means having better relationships at home means you have better relationships at work and with your, from a sales perspective, with your clients. So you always have to create that relationship issue. And so the more you are capable of doing that at home, because that's where it really counts, the better you get at work. There's an example, a dentist, for example. So I coach both partners because that's what I do. I coach both partners separately always, and then bring it together. And he was lacking in kind of like, not only in his sales, he wasn't communicating right. So something was holding him back. And it turned out it really got back to a trauma that him and his wife experienced. So their first child was born dead. Oh. So that was a trauma, and they never talked about that. And they were really at the edge of a divorce at one point. So this is where I come into the picture, and I help them both separately to regain their strength and belief in themselves first before they were even able to talk with each other about that. And it really brings me to goosebumps when I talk about this moment when they came back together and the first time talked about this emotional experience for them. And that was kind of like the starting point, not only for the relationship to discover their truest, deepest connection with each other, but also to transfer it directly into the business. So he doubled his income from this after this experience, because we started to implement him in a way so that he could be at his best, with fully aligned and in harmony with his core values, not only at home but also at work, and could communicate that also with his team, which supported him to do what he's doing best, and selling, or the whole team work together as one.
Yeah, no, and also how he would be serving his patients, but yeah, how he is supporting everyone who's on the staff within that office environment. I love that story, because for a number of different reasons, Uwe. I think it really illustrates that the power and the importance of having these relationships at home that carry you through, that they can actually carry you forward and through, good times and bad, both personally and in business, because you have this place, almost like a safe place where you can share and talk about what's going on. And it's not that your personal relationship becomes this constant conversation about your business, but instead it is a place that you can talk about what's happening with a sounding board, with a really truly trusted partner.
Lynn. Yeah, it goes even further, if I may quickly. So it goes to that point where you gain the motivation at home, so you can spend it at work and then repeat. So that's what we call, recycling motivation. And that is kind of like the foundation of everything we do. You need to be grounded in certainty and in your own gained motivation that needs to be filled up over and over. And if you don't do this, essentially you will run into risk of a burnout. And from a medical professional perspective, every second one runs into that. Corporate, there's burnout all over the place. So, and in the sales industry as well. So kind of like, there all these funny comics showing up in Q4, and seeing kind of like a beehive is everybody's getting busy in Q4, right? But if you come from a place of inner certainty about yourself and feeling automatically motivated, getting to your clients and creating the relationships, you are in for the long term, and that is that keeps your sales alive and vibrant.
Yeah. So let's dive in just a little bit deeper to the inner certainty, and how that is one of the things that you work with people certainly to uncover. And so let's take a look at what does that sort of look like, that journey.
So essentially what is, so my process is called the AIM experience, and AIM is an acronym that stands for activation, implementation, and manifestation. And essentially what we need to activate is something what I call the letting go and letting in mechanism. And it's a process that we all have, and it's only complete as a pair. And essentially we need this to activate because we don't know how to do that, because we're so focused on letting go, and nobody taught us to let in something in the same moment that you can let go. Well, you can let in something else that is there waiting for you, that you can feel and perceive. And training that, practicing that, needs to have that activation first. So essentially, I guide my clients through the process where we get to that point of their kind of like biggest false belief that they still carry with them, and I call this elephant thinking. So many people, we carry lots of elephants with us. We all have those, and there's one core elephant that initiated all this. And normally you don't get access to that core elephant thinking, to that first one that acts like a domino piece. And so, I prepare my clients to be in a safe and neutral container to get to that place where they actually can let go of that core elephant thinking, something they believe for a very long time, too long, and finally can let it go. But letting go is only 50% of the equation, so they need to let in and embrace something else that is right there waiting for them, and they've never articulated that because they haven't been there at this moment and thinking about something guided by me in a session where they see, oh, here it is, this is something I can talk about, and I just ask them the questions. So, and based on that, what they say and what they create there, and essentially it's a memory. It's something, it's an experience. They walk through that, letting go and letting in, and walking in a different path into the future that is more positive and hopeful. And this is where they find one piece of the puzzle. Let's stick with the analogy that we had from the beginning of what it means to feel that internal certainty about oneself. So because then you are ready, oh, okay, so now I understand how I function, how I work, and based on that memory, that experience we create, you carry that into your next steps, and that is implementation, and then comes manifestation. And so I just want to highlight this first part. It would take too long to go into all the other parts here. Of course, well, we can, I run this monthly boardroom briefings, so people can join me anytime they want to dive a little deeper here how this actually works. But essentially, this is kind of like the first moment when you are close to certainty about yourself. And then, of course, there are more steps necessary to build upon, so that at the end of the day, you actually have a deep realization and can manifest that certainty about your identity and who you can be based on your own determination.
Yeah. No, first of all, I love the phrase elephant thinking because it really taps into something that's a subconscious. It's not on the surface. I mean, sometimes people aren't even aware of this thinking. They don't know what it is until after they've, gone through this process with you so that they can identify it and bring it out. That truly is a block. And they have to, to your point, I mean, you had your own very profound story of how you had to literally relive that so that you could say, okay, no. Let it in so that you could move forward. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I can see how that identifying that elephant thinking and that blocker, how it does not only impact your whole self certainty, your inner certainty, but your relationships, both personally, and then how that in turn then bleeds over into your sales and business success.
Well, essentially, it's a muscle. You just heard it once today, probably, to all who are watching and listening in, and you heard that, so you understand, oh, there's something else there. So you create that awareness, but then of course you need to practice. But what I just shared earlier is kind of like, unless I guide you to that point that is crucial for you uniquely, that has that lever. We're going to pull a lever and push you out of the old past and into what you can be, and that creates a new sense of certainty about yourself, where feel like, oh wow, this is possible, and it directly affects everything you do at home and especially at work and in your sales efforts.
Yeah. So what this really means for the viewers who are tuning in and listening is that, identifying or understanding these typical situations that you could be, and to your point, everyone is unique for every individual, but that are the elephant thinking that's sabotaging your personal relationships, and how that then translates into all the other aspects of your, from personal to professional life. I guess in summation, can you tell me, when people are tuning in and listening, what this really means for our viewers?
Well, it means essentially to excel in sales and business, one must invest in building and nurturing relationship foundations, and based on a personal growth path that we all need to follow through. And that involves not just professional development, but especially the personal growth path. So enhancing your emotional intelligence and empathy, and the letting go, letting in part, it's just a tool that you can use day in and day out. So you can create more meaningful connections. Allow yourself to not being part of the problem, but allow you to be part of the solution more quickly. So because otherwise you get stuck and you get angry, why didn't this work, etc. So, and there's a lot of stuff that we just not carry on, and or that we carry on without letting it go and without the replacement of letting it in. So essentially you can create more meaningful connections with clients, also leading to a sustained business success and also to personal fulfillment. And in the world of sales, being like the barista coming back, who remembers your name and your favorite coffee, can make all the difference. It's really about creating a connection that goes beyond the product or the service you offer. And this approach not only leads to better sales results, but also makes the process more fulfilling for both the salesperson and the client.
Yeah, absolutely. Remembering to remind me to put my stevia in my cup. But it's like this shared little piece that you have that you feel really great about them taking care of you, right? It's a piece of like client loyalty and your own feelings and emotions about that, in that case, the relationship with the coffee shop. And that's really powerful. Well, Uwe, thank you so much for sharing why your relationship foundations are crucial to your sales and business success. It's clear from this discussion and your profound insights that the strength of our relationships, both personal and professional, can significantly impact our success. And I am really excited to have you back next week. And we're going to learn what all this means again. We're sort of going to do a quick refresh, and then how do we put it in action? So we will explore the power of work-life harmony and achieving sales excellence in our next episode. And we're going to answer the question, how to create a supportive and robust relationships so you can enhance your sales and business success while opening the floodgates of fun and intimacy. Woohoo! This is going to be a lot of fun, Uwe.
Yes, I can't wait.
And for those of you, all of Uwe's contact information is in our show notes. So I really encourage you to connect with Uwe and the amazing work that he does. I just can't thank you enough, Uwe, for being here and how we've expanded our relationship over all these years. It's really been a blessing. Thank you so much.
It's a testament to that. Thank you so much, Lynn, for having me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And for everyone who tuned in, thank you for joining us. My purpose is for you to get more clients. And bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. And the fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. That's what we've been talking about this whole episode. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You'll find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, Uwe and I explored why your relationship foundations are crucial to your sales and business success. And the key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. You have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success, what is working, not working, and what you would love to have working. So I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization, as does Yui with your personal and professional relationships. Say yes to you and get on a call with me or with Yui. We are truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. For me, you can go to Ignite Your Sales at Petite to Queen, or actually petite p2q.link/win-win. That's down in the show notes. Yui's contact information is down in the show notes. And for me, our consulting here at Petite to Queen is designed for immediate on-the-fly implementation and individuals committed to taking action to move their business forward. To learn more about our consulting services and to connect with me and stay current on all of our insightful advice, our breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients, you can visit our website at petitetoqueen.com. And make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing to Get More Clients wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love the show, please share it and give us a 5-star review. Very much appreciate it. Now, next week on Get More Clients, as I've told you, Yui and I are going to be back together, and we're going to be discussing how to create robust life relationships to strengthen prosperity. Prosperity. Isn't that what we want to have? So we'll see you next week on Get More Clients. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.